We are starting a few minutes late. This is the Franklin Public Library Board of Trustees meeting on Monday, May 22nd, 2023. It is 6:03 p.m. I'm calling the meeting to order, obviously. Maria Imp, President, is here. Annie Oklubgia?
Here.
Judy Williams-Kalaki?
Here.
Mike Karalevich?
Here.
Terry Barris?
Here.
Annalee Bennon?
Here.
Ellen Alexandrovich?
Here.
Doris Weber?
Here.
And Michelle Eichmann is our aldermanic representative excused this evening. We will move on to, we have no visitors. We have no public comment. We received a really cool donation for seating in the children's area from FJ Chiropractic. They are located, I believe, on Highway 100 by the new smoothie place. My daughters tell me is a cool smoothie place. So they're kind of like across from Menards there. And they came in a few weeks ago, and the check, the presentation check is posted in the children's area. They are super nice, super awesome, so we thank them for that. And so we will move on to our approval of minutes from the April 20.
Actually, I have a real quick question.
Oh,
on
sure.
that. Has the furniture already, like, do they know what they want?
We've
for that?
purchased it
It is
already.
purchased.
Okay,
All right.
yeah, I
Yay.
thought that was kind of, yeah, I'm sorry, I should have.
Okay,
okay.
that's it.
All right, so looking at the minutes. Anything that anybody sees, jumps out to them?
I'll make a motion to approve them as written.
Okay, Mike Karalevitz.
I second.
Doris? Any other questions about those? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Okay, motion approves. Alan, before you start, I know this is out of order, but allowable. I am going to make my president's report at this time. There is a lot going on with staffing at the library right now. I'd like to ask that we all keep that in mind as we move forward through our agenda and the decisions that we're making, the votes that we're making. We are down a staff member, and we are without our director for at least a little while. And so I would just ask that, we keep that in mind as we proceed through some of this. So other than that, I have been involved with the Milkman game and just other updates with the security project and the, what's that called? The parking lot project. So keeping up with that. So that is officially my report for tonight. And now we will move on to the Finance Committee report.
All right. Vouchers and invoices. In going through the vouchers, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me as being abnormal. Dust-free cleaning service, we started that last month, and that's now showing up like 2 months ago.
Right, and Jennifer reminded me that we have no budgeted money in sundry contractors for that amount. However, remind me, Carrie, we are not being billed by the city for that staff member that used to do it
Right.
for us. So even though there's no budgeted amount under sundry contractors where it's coming out of, it's not an issue. Is that, do
Yeah,
I have
that's-
that correct?
That's right,
Okay.
yes, because obviously when we created the budget, we did not know this was going to
Exactly,
happen.
exactly.
But there is obviously money in the budget for it.
Right.
It's just gonna not
In the
come out of
wrong
one place
spot,
and it's
right,
gonna come out of
exactly.
someplace else.
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay,
And we don't need to do any amendment because it's not a capital improvement or is it in the same category? I thought like if we were gonna have an issue with it like being out of a category, we had to do something. Am I misremembering that?
I don't know when those amendments have to take place. Is it based on amounts or based on?
Well, I felt like if it was within a certain, like
Within
the
a-
same, within
within
the
the
same
same-
category number, it was okay. But if it was like outside,
Well, it was probably personnel from the, because we were paying like the
Right.
city. So where does that show up, Alan? Like
Um,
we like reimburse the city for the, yeah,
That's in Fund 15, account 5560, interdepartment charge allocation pay cost.
okay, interdepartment challenge pay, okay,
Oh,
so we
yeah.
have it budgeted there,
so it's a facility charge, but we're not gonna be paying.
but then we're gonna be paying it under here, so,
For this past month, I do not believe we had.
like a bill
charge there.
from them, yeah.
And we also didn't get a charge for insurance. So I
That was
don't
the
know,
second that
Are
was
we
missing,
insured?
right, yeah.
all they're doing is allocating costs, so it's, we don't have our own insurance policy insured.
Is that part of the city being down staff and not,
I would imagine, yes, just guessing.
and the transition of
Right.
changes?
Yes. I guess, we can check into that.
Yeah, I think we should
don't-
confirm it. I think
we
we have to
should-
do it before the budget, like, the end of the year, I think is when we have to do the.
Right,
by,
if
so
we have to
have
do an
time.
amendment on the
Yeah.
budget to say we're taking this money from
Yeah.
here to there, it would be done at the end of the year anyways,
Yeah.
but we should, if we know that ahead of time.
But weren't we also told that what we get from the city is like the 1,300,000?
Right.
Whatever it is, and they're not holding our feet to the fire such that you had a budget of $15,000 and you spent $16,000.
Right, right.
You're in trouble.
Right.
So we don't have anything like that. It's
Right.
kinda, here's your money, take care of the library.
I think
Right,
that's generally true, but we've had to do amendments in the past because of not having funds in the right area.
Jennifer
So I
did
think
not
it's
say anything
generally
about
true,
that.
like if you have $1,000 here and then it evens out or whatever with the other expenses in the category. We haven't had to do an amendment, but there have been years past where we got into December and they've been like, you need to do an amendment and move it into a different area.
and that's why I'm thinking if
Okay.
it's
But
also
then it's a
amounts,
year-end
like
thing.
if it's.
Yeah, well, right, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But we know it's going to be, it's not
Yeah.
like we're getting to year end and we know we're gonna be over or anything like that. We
And-
know we're gonna be over, cause it's
Right.
not gonna be right.
And it was Bob that made the decision to switch from an employee to a contractor, so it'll all, yeah, work out. But we'll keep our eye on it.
I'm hoping we don't have to do it, but I just have this nagging
Well,
recollection.
Well, it's like library reciprocal borrowing.
I know.
We have it in the budget, but
right.
it never hits our
yeah.
books.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And because they pay it in February.
Right. So we're still on Fund 15, vouchers,
Okay, fine.
invoices, I mean, is that correct? Because I know we didn't have a motion for that, so.
No, I'm looking for a motion to approve the $26,725.96 for the invoices on this.
I so moved.
Annie? I will second. Maria? Any other questions about any of those? And please notice they go onto the back of your page for that one. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? So moved. All right, Fund 16.
Fund 16, basically the same, nothing is out of the ordinary on the invoices and vouchers, so I'd be looking for motion to accept the $11,503.40.
I so moved.
Annie? Right.
Second.
Doris? Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Oppositions or abstentions? All right, motion carries.
Okay, my general report, it's in there, so you can all see it.
Right.
We're at, April represents 32.88% of the year. Our revenue is 95.95% of the budget. And our investment earnings are still really strong at 344.44% of the budget. Kind of love inflation. Our expenditures are 32.05% of the budget. So our expenditures are down and our revenue is running well. I made a point that salaries, account 5111, they were down about $6,000. But vacation was up about $6,000, so all is right with the world.
So
Comment?
we're down a staff
Yeah.
person.
Because
Yeah.
of Laura.
Yes.
Grab.
because of a staff person.
Oh, sorry, because
That's
of a
okay.
staff person.
Yes, who is having to use vacation time. Yes.
Sundry contractors, I made the note, dust-free cleaning
Yep.
is still there.
Mhm.
Allocated insurance was 0. I didn't put on here that the interdepartmental thing, that 78,800 was also 0. I just
Okay.
miswriting that, I'm sorry.
Carrie, can you make a note of that, and we will,
I'm pretty confident they're gonna make it up next month.
oh, I am sure they are.
I'm pretty sure this is not a gift.
No, no. But let's just, I don't know, keep our, the allocated insurance, and what did you say the other one was?
See what it was.
You said allocated insurance and something else was 0.
Yes, Fund 15, the interdepartment.
Oh, okay, yes,
uh,
okay.
I got a question on the electricity for
Which is
April.
account 5560, sorry.
The electricity for April was like triple.
I saw it.
And it's not like water where you pay quarterly.
See that,
He did a double payment, you think?
Or like it missed and then,
we didn't have anything in January. And I
Right.
think we were just posting 1 month back.
is it like a quarterly?
And
Well,
now,
it's more
no, no,
like
no.
3 months.
Yeah, okay.
Well, when you're looking at winter months, the electricity is probably a lot
We had
more.
winter in April.
We're still having
so
majority.
steep.
We're still on target.
But, what if in May?
It just seemed to really just like stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't know why it is, because when I talked to Jennifer about it, she says, when I get the bill in, I approve it, I send it, but yet we don't always have an electric bill every month, or a gas bill. And we should.
Well, do we get it or does the city get it?
City gets it and lets us know, and Jennifer immediately approves it. So I don't know.
And then
if
who
they're
pays
not-
it? Do we pay it or does the city pay it?
City pays
City
everything.
pays it,
Well,
drawing it
see,
out of our.
yeah.
That could be part of the problem is we could approve it. That doesn't mean the city's paying it immediately.
Right.
Although we're on a cash basis, I think once they enter it into accounts
Oh,
payable,
but
it
it's
should
supposed to go
hit,
back?
it should hit the income
Isn't
statement,
that
yeah.
cool?
Ellen, do you know, is there, if we have questions about any financial stuff, who are we now contacting over there?
I have no idea.
Is there a contact person? Carrie, do you know? Is there? Okay,
not know.
all right. I think that's maybe part of. How long have we been without a treasurer or a financial person over there?
At least January.
Right, yeah.
They're supposed to be offering somebody at this week. Offering a job to somebody, is what I heard through the grapevine. Whether that person will accept or not is.
Okay.
Or stay home.
Anyway,
Moving on. So that, and I said, other than that, the accounts looked like they were as anticipated. And I missed the electric one too. I guess because I'm going through looking at the percentages, and if we're
Right.
not over 32%, we're,
Because
Yeah.
our month-to-month looks good, but, or, yeah.
yeah, we're running fine a year to date. So hard to get good help, isn't it? Total revenue on Fund 16 is 51.58% of budget, well over the 32.88% of the month. Again, investments, interest investment is 432%. The donation that we had, the 4,780, that was a welcome surprise. Is that the chiropractor?
Yeah,
Okay.
that goes in donations first, and then we'll see it spending in furniture. That's how that works,
Right.
yeah.
Fines are up with that quarterly e-commerce check that we get. This was the month that we got it. Expenditures, 38.85% of the budget. It's a little higher than where we are for the year-to-date. Operating supplies, still running high at 65.38%. March was 36% of the year-to-date expenditures. Last month, March was, I believe, if I recall, 42%.
And we
So,
always have
these
to be,
last 2 months.
yeah, we always have to be reminded that it seems like a lot of those things are the ones that are reimbursed by the foundation and things like that.
donations.
Yeah,
We put a lot of that in
right,
operating.
it's just, we haven't figured out a good system to show that, other than every meeting, we say, what?
Yeah, I'll keep saying it.
And we say, foundation, okay.
Other than those accounts, and the ones discussed in prior months, we're running as anticipated. Cash register report was perfect.
As
As
expected.
expected.
Always.
You really like putting that in there.
I really love
Yes.
putting it in because of the month after month,
Bold and
and it
red.
never was. And now that we've got it down, you almost wonder if we need to continue to get a cash register report.
Yes.
I think it's
As soon as you stop
probably,
watching.
I
Where
know.
it's up again.
People start to slide.
Okay,
Sorry, Alan.
never mind.
Well, Ellen, there's still,
Yes, sir.
there's still this talk or consolidating Fund 16 into 15.
I have not heard anything.
I don't.
Okay. I could have sworn we talked about that.
Well, we did.
Oh, okay,
but that
I see
was-
what you mean.
That was several months ago. I mean,
No, I understand.
Since then, I have heard nothing.
Okay, okay.
But
Was that a finance committee discussion?
Well, then he'd know.
Well, he knows,
Okay.
but he
But
says
yeah,
it was
no,
a
I think-
while ago.
But
It
we
was-
talked
it
about
was.
Why
Okay.
Then it was brought up by the city, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's what I said. The city brought it up, and there hasn't been anybody to follow. through
I
on it.
see.
Right.
Okay.
right. I
It's
got
not
you.
for a benefit to consolidate them,
No.
is it?
Yeah,
Because
that's-
once we consolidate it, they know the amount is, and that affects their budgeting.
Well, it's a public document too. so-
It is, but
Yeah.
then they're gonna start to really take it into account in the.
I don't
In
think they have
the-
time to do that.
And the, yeah.
I
like
would,
that.
I would just be worried about that, cause,
Yeah.
and it's donations. I think we have an argument that it's
We have nothing to hide.
well, no, I'm
No,
not
but I
saying we
think
do.
if it gets to
I mean,
that
lose
point, do
control.
we dump that into foundation then? Or do we somehow, like, I don't know, so,
We're record-
anyway,
We're recording this, don't give away all our
no,
secrets.
well,
Well,
I
no,
know.
but I'm just saying, like, Fund 15, that's the budget. That's the money we get
That's
from
the
the
money
city.
we get from the city.
And so the Fund 16 is the money we get from fines, donations, things like that. It seems like it's fundamentally different in terms of what its purpose is versus, operational expenses and other things. So, I don't know.
If
That's the way it's been handled,
Yeah.
as far as how things have been paid out,
Right.
so.
If we put it into the Fund 15, then I think it could be used for things that traditionally we would not use it for, like capital
Yeah.
expenditures.
Okay, so school system, you have a foundation.
Correct.
So how is that money viewed by the operating budget of the schools?
Completely separate.
Right, because it's money that people in our community give.
And their board directs how it's used.
Exactly.
Is that what happened to Fund 1 through 14? So they all got blended in.
No.
Yeah, I don't know where those other ones came from. We do have to approve this, though.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah, 15 and,
We did 15.
we approved 15 and 16.
No, we
I
didn't
approved
approve 16.
Annie and
Yeah.
Doris.
Okay.
Oh, you did
Yes,
both
we
15
did.
and 16? Wow,
Yeah.
I'm losing it. It's been such a long time since we talked about it.
Yeah, okay, we're done approving. He's just
Okay.
continuing with his report,
Okay.
and we just have the credit card summary.
And
And the
after
bank.
credit card summary, that's about my report.
Okay.
Everything else is written up here.
And then,
But I did go back into last year and
Yep.
to Mike's point, look at the electricity bill.
oh,
And last year, we did have one every single month. The big one was not in April, but instead of in like June and July, it jumped up to 8,000. June, July, August, September, those were all 8 to 9,000.
Yeah.
Higher end of 8,000. So this 12,000 electric bill is kind of out of the norm. I would not be surprised if something was posted there that doesn't belong there.
okay,
And that would be something that Jennifer would have to go into the
Right.
detail and check it out.
yeah, okay.
So good catch, Mike.
But there was also like nothing in January.
No, but
Or
that's
February?
the prior year too, there was nothing in January.
Okay, all right,
So that's
all right,
kind of normal operating procedure
all right.
for both electricity
go,
and natural
Carrie.
gas.
Yeah. So, we also have on page 15, the summary, so we cashed in, correct? Carrie? I'm assuming we have these in hand on page
gift
15 of the
cards.
packet, the gift
Yes.
card. And
Yes,
those are
we
in
have them.
preparation for the summer reading program, right?
Yes.
So we switched to that credit card so we could do this for nothing. So look at all that money.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Alrighty, so we are done now with the treasurer's report. Carrie, if you wanna, so what we're gonna do is swap out here and we're gonna go, Carrie's gonna go grab Brinny to give us a preview of the summer reading program preview.
Yes.
So I should have sent you out sooner. I'm trying to look ahead quick to see what we can do maybe. But I think Brinny's ready. So she's gonna come in.
Who is Carrie taking Jennifer's report?
Yeah.
So Carrie was planning on being here tonight anyways because of the family emergency in Jennifer's family. So Carrie had met with Jennifer and I last week and gone through all this. So yes, Carrie was totally prepared for this evening
Of course.
prior to the weekend
Event.
event with Jennifer. Which,
Yes, fall came early this year.
That's bad.
anyways. And unfortunately, at this point, not enough is known about, I heard you ask, not enough is known about the return date and all of that for Jennifer.
Like how long she's gonna be gone.
Correct, correct. So, we'll see. Gearing up for exciting summer. Hello, why don't you just sit there, because she was there.
Okay. Hello,
And-
hello.
This is Brinny. Brinny has joined our meeting here at whatever time it is.
6:25.
6:25, I see, yes.
I think Jennifer handed these out.
She did.
Okay.
At least the kids one.
We
Team?
got both.
Yeah,
Okay. Sarah and I didn't know, so we brought them in.
yeah. You can
Um,
just leave them here, and if anybody
look
wants a
at it?
review.
So our lovely summer reading. We're very excited. We just hired our intern. Pretty much kind of our typical story times on Mondays. We're doing a mixture of things on Tuesdays. Wednesdays is kind of like our quiet, but that's when our kits go out so people can still come back in.
Mm-hmm.
Thursdays are our school age programs, and then Fridays are family programming. My favorite is Bluey, Very Bluey Christmas. I have been dying for a July Christmas program, but we're going to do a mixture of summer activities. So there's going to be a lot of water play. I'm already in talks with Fairy Tale Birthday Company. We're going to have Santa come.
Oh,
So they're going
fun.
to get pictures with Santa and some summer elves. I asked her if the elves can come dressed very surfer-like.
Nice.
Very, very excited about it. Encanto interactive movie, we did a Willy Wonka one in spring, and that actually was really well received. So we think a Disney program of a more popular movie should bring in a very large crowd. I'm trying to do... Our intern, we like to throw them into the deep end with maybe some floaties, but we're like, swim! We are usually our programming on Thursday. We plan it since they're not here, but then we give them the training wheels and say, okay, this is the program idea. Research it. We'll help you guide it. We'll let you know. We'll steer you to where you need to be. So very excited with our intern. We have experienced a small snafu. We were told today that the schools do not want the summer booklets. They can either go in through the newsletter or they can come and pick them up in the library. We've been doing this now for several years. We send them the booklets because we have found that when the children actually receive the booklet, first and foremost, when they see our face and then we're like, hey, you're gonna get this, they get that connection of like, hey, mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, check out this cool program. We're doing a slime program. Can we go to the library? For us, because that's one of our big goals, was to increase our summer reading.
And you are going into all the schools.
We're going into all the schools, but Sarah and I were like, that's going to be a weird disconnect to say, hey, come to our summer reading, but you're not getting any of the information. You have to tell your adult to go look at the newsletter. Because from what I experience with children, they'll go and be like, wait, there was something cool at the library, but then.
Right. They have to go online to the school newsletter
I think
to
they're
get
gonna
it, or the library, correct? Will
Yeah.
it be
It's in the
posted?
school newsletter.
They're going
Okay.
for the school newsletter.
Yeah, it's
So
already in there. For
we-
the schools and the district one.
so say that again?
It's through like there's one that's sent from a district
Yes.
level and from the schools.
So we were trying to figure out if there was a way, because the gentleman mentioned something that they're going completely paperless.
Yeah, do you have some comment
Sure.
about that? I'm sure you
Yeah.
do, yes.
No, I'm glad we've accommodated to have like into the schools this year to talk about the programming.
Yes.
So we have like in our newsletter we put anything electronic. That's because we get a lot of things that come our way, like the
Absolutely.
library,
Yeah.
sure, like the youth football league, the
Mhm.
health department, like anything that's going on. The mental health walk that was last Saturday. A lot of those different things come through. So we don't do like paper handouts typically. We just put them in the newsletters. Our families are well informed with the newsletters. Like every school sends them every Monday, and then the district sends one every
Okay.
other Thursday to all families.
Okay. Because it was a new experience for us because we're like,
Mhm.
wait, because we've been doing this
Mhm.
and we have all our booklets already printed. And so then we're like,
Because you thought you could, yeah.
Why can't we hand them out?
because I think they're going completely paperless.
Right.
Right.
So have you already visited the schools, or is that coming up? I don't
We've-
recall the timeline
We're starting this week. We have 2
this week.
this week.
I just bring them along to the meeting and hand them out when you meet with the students at the school. That's fine.
Will we get in trouble for that?
And the superintendent, they'll just let them know that we've accommodated it this year.
Okay.
I mean, you have it all printed out, but I think you can understand.
Yeah,
like,
it would be a shame to not do it.
if you have
with
them all
that stuff.
printed, I don't want the resource wasted, and you're coming in and you're handing it to them.
And then knowing
It's a
going
different-
forward next year that everything is digital,
Right.
you can
Okay.
accommodate your presentation.
Okay.
Are you comfortable
I didn't
with
mean
that?
to say like top down. I'm the
Oh, no, no,
superintendent.
no, no,
We just
no,
haven't
no.
formally met, so I didn't know if you knew
No,
me or
and it was
talking like
I'm
who
so-
we were talking
yeah.
with or who's communicating.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I said it that way.
Um,
So no, I'll let the principals know. So
Okay.
I can email them when we're done.
Are you-
meeting.
we didn't want to overstep because we work.
No, you were probably talking with Chad Kafka, who's our communication person.
Okay.
Yep, and he works on, him and I are working on the newsletters. And
Okay.
trying to be, because there's a lot of people that bring in paperwork and they want it to be available, and it just becomes messy, honestly,
Overwhelming, yes.
and overwhelming. I think the partnership we have and the ability that you're coming in and speaking with the students, it's like a nice opportunity to hand it to them too. They go right to their backpack, hopefully, right?
Well, and then the,
There.
parents
unpack,
Yeah.
unpack it and they look at it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do
But a
every
lot
day.
of schools have shifted to that. Like you can go to a lot of districts and they'll have like a virtual backpack. They'll literally
Yes.
call it that on their website, and then
Yeah.
all of the different like handouts and things are in there.
Which is nice for when you lose stuff.
Yeah.
Because
And
then
I
you can
think-
just click open that backpack.
Yeah.
Right, and I think the
Parents have
background too,
appreciated it.
right, and I think the background is that I think this is the first year they've been allowed back in the schools.
Yes.
When you already have it
Prior
printed,
to
and so,
that,
like it's just a
They've
crossover,
always taken something, so when they said, oh, you're allowed back in the schools, they're like, let's print all these so we're ready to go. So
Yeah.
that was expected. So are you comfortable with them
Yeah, that's fine.
taking
I just
in?
wasn't sure if you already came in.
We
I know it
hurt
was
you so much
scheduled.
right now.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
what my daughter does right now to me when she.
okay, okay.
I'm sending you all the love.
That's all right. I get that from my
Okay.
son too.
Well, just
And then I
for
get that you broke it.
curiosity, do you?
I was assuming you got a lot of something else.
Do you look at, are you pretty well, I
look-
need to look at that digital stuff because I know it's, paper
be
stuff's not
honest,
coming home.
I get 8 to 10 emails from the school weekly,
Okay.
so I don't look at
Okay.
a ton of the emails.
Okay.
Because
And
because
how much paper stuff do you get?
I would barely get any paper stuff.
Okay,
So I look at the paper
You-
stuff,
right.
and I don't read all the emails.
Okay, so it's not, well, it depends on what it is.
Because
but-
I get so many
Right.
emails that I'm like, ugh, whatever.
Okay, all right.
So if I feel like
But I
newsletters
think, you
are
know-
a predictable place to go.
Right.
right, so if I know that I'm
Everyone else
like
are getting emails
missing
And I'm sure
something,
you'll work on the district
I like
is
save
working
them
on-
throughout the week. So
Sure,
if I'm
sure.
missing something, then I know I better go
I
read
better
that
go.
email.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But
You
I,
should have your kids review them. Let me know if there's.
they're
anything.
not old enough yet. Well,
Well-
my high schooler is, but like
Sure, sure.
I get them from certain teachers, and then
Right,
because
right.
they all have their email on top of like
Like the district
school's
email and the
e-
school
yeah.
email, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
There's just too many emails.
All right, well, Annalee, thank you for allowing them to hand them out this year since they were already printed. And then we will definitely, going forward, take that into consideration.
Next year, we
Yes.
will wait for confirmation.
Or like
before-
even the,
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause-
absolutely.
Well, and it was just because this has been
Yeah, yeah.
our norm for the last 4 years. We
Right.
get them ready and then.
Okay.
Any teen program? I think you guys already looked at this. I think Carrie is getting this. The most exciting thing is the Nerf Wars.
Oh.
I think this is
Is that
going to
an
bring in
after hours thing in the library?
I
was
know
looking
it's
at that.
not, so I'm kind of intrigued. It's from 4 to 5:30 on Tuesday, June 20th.
Where are they gonna do it? Outside? I thought
Maybe.
it was like after hours in the library.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine
Wouldn't that
some
be
of the
fun?
crabby people that'll be in here
I don't-
accidentally getting
They should
bit?
do an
Touch base
adult
with-
Nerf war after hours, right?
I actually recommended that as a fundraiser. I'm like, that would
It
bring
would
in
be a good one.
some of the younger demographics. And then if we, in the past for the foundation, there was beverages and everything, I'm like, come in, snacks, create your teams, go from there. I know Laura planned spin art, which they've done in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Super
Mhm,
popular.
Always.
Anything with the food is always good. And then, yeah, this is her handy dandy. We have actually had a few teens reach out to us about volunteering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't,
That's
that's real getting these.
I think they just passed this one around.
And
We
I
got
know-
those last time. I remember taking them.
Yeah, yeah.
and then
And
the
they have them here. But, you know, the teens that are looking for stuff to do know to come here and look at that.
yes, we actually had a young gentleman who's going to be a freshman, but he wants to shelf, and I'm like, I think you have to be 16 or older for
Yeah.
that. I'm like, you got a few more years, but
Well,
your workaround is
yeah.
being a teen volunteer. But pretty excited. My money would be Nerf Wars is going to probably be our biggest
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
out of the teens. And then we're interested to see how well it's received. I know children's are interested, and I did, like I said, throw it out as a fundraiser opportunity to the library. I would do it.
Good. All right.
Any questions?
Any questions for Brittany about our summer reading? And what is the theme this summer?
All together now.
All together now.
My storytime crafts are food puns,
Oh, funny.
and it's going to let's be punny together.
Oh,
And
good.
so like that's
You really used your noodle to come up with it.
just waiting, weren't you?
I think I did a one.
Thank you. You've been
Best friends more ever, and it's a fire with the s'more
A
above
s'more
it.
ever. Oh,
And
that's
then
nice.
you're my butter half with
Oh.
the toast rubbing the
Yeah,
butter
yeah.
on its belly.
Oh, okay, good.
So
Oh, fun.
we're finding those elements. For a little
Yeah.
bit, we were like, "What are we going to do for this?" And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we just embraced it.
Always great. Well, good.
Yeah, you guys are great.
If you have any questions, you know where to find me.
Yes,
Find
we
my
do.
email.
Super.
All right.
Thanks for your time
Thanks, Brittany.
tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
Good
helping
luck.
us with that.
Absolutely. Let us know how we can help you too.
Yes, we appreciate everything. So.
Good. Okay.
I'll send Carrie back to you.
Alrighty. Any other? Okay. Business item 7B. I'm just going to comment on 7B and C. We have to approve them separately. Apparently, because of the timing of our meetings, we missed some of these due date deadlines for paying invoices. So the Menards one specifically, if we do not approve a Menards invoice, and it doesn't happen all the time, but Bob buys things for the library.
Can't you just use the credit card?
I'm not sure,
Probably not an authorized user.
right? It's something.
Yeah.
And
That'll give
then
us more points.
the problem with Menards is if we don't pay the invoice, they cannot buy anything from Menards until we do, or something like that.
Like
So
the-
that was,
The city?
I don't, yeah,
That's
like.
a lot of power.
Something, I know, right? So there's something with Menards that if we don't pay it, they can't buy anything.
What are we buying from Menards?
Bob buys stuff.
Stuff.
You know, what do you buy?
Oh, that's clear.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, stuff that you buy from Menards.
When he needs
Carrie,
to
help
go
me
home
out
and
here,
clean and
Menards,
stuff.
We
like
buy lots
what-
of things at Menards
Yeah,
for the
like-
janitorial staff.
Yeah, the
Lots.
janitor stuff, lights, I mean, just
Things that break.
Menards stuff, yeah,
Get
like
fixed by things
screws, I
from
don't know.
Menards.
And if Bob decides it's for the library, we have to approve that. And if we don't, then like they can't buy
The city,
anything.
anybody in the
So
city.
we
Anybody
can,
in the
we
city.
can freeze out the entire city
Can.
by not paying our bill.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
Right. Well,
So as with the
Putting it on
copier,
like a
So-
line of credit or something?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have,
yes, we probably have a Menards
we have a
card,
Menards
which
line of
gives us a
credit
good deal.
with the
Yes,
city, which
yes.
is,
Yes.
tax exempt,
Mhm.
goes on there.
Oh, because it's
Separate
tax-
from our
I make a
credit card.
motion that we
completely.
authorize.
Yeah.
Only question I
Excellent.
have is, do we
Okay.
need to have like some sort of like monetary limit on it?
I think we review the
Yeah,
the
we
statement.
We
look
do
at it,
always,
so I mean,
yes.
We're
like-
reviewing it after it's paid.
Yeah, but I
though.
mean, there's.
And it doesn't happen
Yeah.
every month.
Okay.
Because Bob's not like buying stuff for the library every month, but
No,
in case it
it's-
happens, we don't want to freeze the
And
city
is he
out.
the only, is he the only one that can go and use this line of
You guys
credit?
can, right?
Yeah.
Well, so
Jennifer
there's
and I
It's being
can.
reviewed by the
Mhm.
director. I think we
Yeah.
trust that the director
Yes.
is reviewing
Yeah.
it properly.
That's what
And
I'm,
if we see it the month after that we've approved it and it's
Yeah.
something not.
And
Right.
Jennifer
we have
has
a
to approve it
situation
before it gets paid.
Well, the action doesn't say that there's gonna be approval by,
Without
she
prior.
approves-
oh, without
approval.
prior approval from. It doesn't say that it has to be approved by Jennifer though prior to being paid.
But all of the invoices get approved by
Yeah.
Jennifer before getting paid.
Right.
So it just says it doesn't have to be approved by
By
us.
this, right.
Yep, we had a Menards on here for $286.
Yeah, it's like 10 different things.
Right.
So I make a motion
make
that
the
we
motion.
authorize.
I'll second.
Mike. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Okay, motion carries. And then the Waterstone credit card balance, 2 to 3 times a year, I noted this in our meeting, Carrie. The timing of our meetings, especially if it's like
Well, like it's early because it's Memorial Day.
exactly
You know,
and
so we're not doing the
Christmas,
fourth
so they
one.
need to be able to make those payments timely. So do I have a motion to do the same thing for that? No.
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
Alan, second for Anna Lee. Wait, Alan, sorry.
AA and AB.
AA this time. Anna Lee, AB. All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Motion carries. All right, some of the, work has started on the security systems. And, as the work progresses, anybody that has built a home knows this, you kind of pay this and that as you go. And it's not always known when they're gonna wanna come and ask for those payments. So for the Heartland Business System, it's kind of the same thing. They're working, they're continuing to work, and when they ask for payment, whether or not we have a meeting, up to, this one states that we need a motion to pay Heartland Business Systems up to the $25,000 without our approval from the Board of Trustees.
I so move.
yeah,
Annie
I second.
and Doris.
Oh, you guys.
Anybody?
Is this gonna have a monitoring, thing?
Absolutely, Jennifer knows when this happens, and then
And
we'll-
Heartland is gonna be, no, I mean,
Oh.
in the future when they're monitoring, whatever they put in, like month by month by month, so will we have Heartland bills for years to come?
Yeah.
we had that information kind of last month in our packet.
Yeah,
So
That was
that will be
30 days ago.
budgeted, yeah, I know, right, Alan, right, I'm like, I'm saying this so that I can quick think of what to say to you. No, yes, there is a annual maintenance
Is-
on it,
is
and it
this-
will be, no, this
This is the
is,
installation.
this
This
is
is just the
installation
installation. Got
and equipment.
okay.
So this is why, that's why it's coming out of the I'm just looking up the capital outlay.
Yes, it is what we budgeted for
Okay.
security for this year.
Right.
It's gonna go over that, but we are responsible for $25,000.
Did we find out yet if the library is going to be closed when they install the cameras?
They are not going to close the library.
There we go, okay.
So
So
and the only reason I'm asking is like, so when looking at the building improvements, so we have it budgeted in there already? Because I'm not,
It's
maybe I'm missing it.
absolutely been budgeted for.
Building improvements has 34,000 in it.
Okay, and that was, yeah, I see that. So that was the
of it,
34,000 was
maybe?
meant to include 25 of that?
25 was for security.
That's what I'm
I'm
asking.
pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't bet my life on it right now, but.
Because we're making the motion to pay it out of there.
The action is paid out of that account.
Yes, and I'm sure that's where it's, yeah. All right, any other questions about that motion or that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstain? Okay. Motion carries. On page 16 of our packet, Jennifer wrote us, and Jennifer and Carrie put together a memo regarding hiring a second library intern. Are there any?
I make a motion to approve.
Way to go.
Second.
Okay, Doris and Annalee. Any questions about that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Alrighty. We're moving on to the soliciting on library property policy. A quick background on this. There have been some people that have been up very close to the library entrance. I would not say necessarily that they're soliciting in terms of speaking directly to patrons or interrupting their entrance to the library. However, they're covering our bricks that patrons have paid for, the memorial bricks or whatever, and there have been several comments and complaints
They're here every week.
from patrons.
Appropriate.
So,
Doing what?
They're from churches and religious groups, but they don't try to engage you in religious talk. They just
they take up a lot of space.
yes, they do.
They have big signage.
So we're putting
So
together
we're-
policies saying you
S-
can't be within X number of feet. Is that what the tape measure was for?
Exactly. And like I said, there have been a lot of comments from patrons about it, and comments from patrons that said, you know, those bricks, that's like they're sitting on my family's brick or whatever. You know, I think that has been part of it too. That, but kind of an interesting.
I thought you guys couldn't do anything before. That's why they've always been able to be there.
Well,
This is
Did you
the
talk to
fix.
Jesse about it? I'm curious.
okay, so this is an interesting thing that has happened. So we contacted Jesse, and Jesse apparently has an assistant.
His name is Cooper.
Cooper got back to us
Get
like
back to you quickly.
like
oh my god!
immediately.
Okay.
So
That's on the record.
so
Jesse?
now we know
Is that
how
the-
to contact
He's the city
the
attorney.
city attorney.
Okay.
We now contact Cooper.
Oh.
So Cooper, I'm not sure if he created this
He
policy.
did. Yes.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
immediately.
Yes, he did.
So, and he said it was fair and reasonable to have a policy where you could have a measured amount from your building that could be considered, I don't know.
Okay, Judy, so it says must stay at least 40 feet from library entrances, and I want to have wording like a radius of 40 feet.
Okay?
Well, that was one of my questions.
So, you know, you got, it's not just 40 feet like this way, it's 40
Right.
feet that way,
Yeah,
that
that's
way,
what
that
I
way.
was
Are they
Carrie
gonna
and
go in
I.
the patio, and are they gonna be in the back patio? That was the other concern I had.
Entrances, library
Well, is that considered an
entrances.
entrance though? Because you can't really
See, I
access
don't
it unless you go
cons-
through the library.
Right,
You
okay.
can.
But it's
You
an
can-
entrance into the
the
library.
The other question I had was, well, there's always a downside to these policies, which is
Exactly.
once we enact it, we have to enact it for everybody. We
Exactly.
cannot discriminate.
Right.
So is that gonna be a question? And the other question I had was, now that you've explained it, why couldn't they still be cited for loitering? I'm assuming if they stay for too long without a purpose in the library, it's loitering.
They
right?
only stay for
Couple hours.
yeah.
A couple hours is a
Oh, that's
long time.
I know, right?
Yeah,
They were here today.
What's the magic of 40 feet?
I personally don't know that. I'm assuming that has to be a reasonable distance, and that is considered a reasonable.
And
Is
actually,
that down at least until the stairs?
okay, Carrie and I went out and measured, and we
Yeah,
were gonna
it's-
suggest
yeah, it's
a.
almost out to the end of the sidewalk.
Well, Carrie and I were actually, because going forward, it's 40 feet is plenty long, but going to the side, it doesn't quite go down those ramps. We were gonna suggest maybe 50, changing it to 50.
Because if you didn't, it would be blocking the the entrance.
Or it could be
This-
blocking the entrance
this-
of the ramps for
right,
people that
yeah.
use those.
So that would actually be a safety concern, so.
Well,
So
what I would
anything
suggest-
inside the building is already covered
By the other
by
policy,
our
yeah.
other
Right,
policies.
right.
So this is really a library property policy.
Well, what I would be inclined to do is to, if we can, adopt the policy with the caveat that you're going to speak with the city attorney, and if allowed, it's going to be a 50-foot radius instead of 40, but it seems like we need to get it implemented, not wait another month to do it. Is that right, Carrie?
I think so.
Every-
Yep.
Yeah. And
So-
where does, and,
Can I just,
It's number 2.
okay, thank you.
we're designating the sidewalks and walkways in front of the building and around the building as areas for a person to distribute materials. Do we have to do that? We have to give them our sidewalks?
It's public property, I think.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
So we
what
have
it
to-
was.
Property.
That's why they've always been allowed to do it
Can't we put
before.
it like a pen over here?
Oh, we're gonna
And
gate them.
designate that?
You can go over there and you can solicit over there.
Can't we?
I don't think we can.
I don't think so.
Oh, designate a place
place-
on our
a place for
property
them to
for
engage in.
so-
And I see Annie's point, you know, if
Right.
people come here to go to the library. Okay, so somebody else is, I'll quote unquote, right to be able to do stuff that it's got nothing to do with the library, regardless of whether it's a public space or not. I'm sure Pick and Save wouldn't let them do it.
Yeah.
If a person were running for a political office, would we let them do it?
No,
No.
no,
No, in fact, that's actually against one of our
Yeah,
policies.
it
I
is,
believe.
yes.
So why are we letting churches do it?
well, I
Again,
have
it's still a
not,
public building.
I have
Part of
not
it's
studied
Makes
this,
sense to me.
but I am certain that these organizations have studied it.
Yeah.
And they know absolutely that they are allowed to be on our property as a public entity.
See, now you have to, now you
So
have to
we-
manage what goes on
Yeah.
40 feet beyond your door,
Right.
and something bad could happen. It's for everybody's benefit for them not to be here,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, there's plenty of other
Can we
places
designate
where,
around the flagpole, the sidewalk around the flagpole?
yeah, a space.
You know, a space.
Yeah.
Can we designate that space? Why would we designate the sidewalks and the walkways then?
Okay.
As a non-space. like-
No, it,
Well, that's all we have is walkways.
No, that's
and-
what I'm saying, as a
I
space
do.
where
I
they
use
cannot.
that. I use that walkway when I come here. Please
Right,
designate
you have
that
to.
walkway.
The one
'Cause we
around the
come from
flagpole?
park. Yes, we come from the park.
So you,
So that would be a terrible place to designate them because I have to walk through there too.
Do they have like legal counsel about this?
Granted, it would be better than the
Do they have
entrance.
legal
Yeah,
counsel?
So I guess
that's
that's
cheaper.
cheaper. But why are we
I
designating?
am not sure, I mean,
Anyways.
the Franklin
We
attorney
have to
put
designate
this
it?
together
do
for
we have to,
us.
Judy?
I
So I don't
don't,
think they
this is not my area of expertise.
Yeah,
We're
whether
we're
they-
getting out of control. We
No,
can
you
have
know
one
what?
conversation at a
No.
time.
I do labor and employment law, not public access.
Right, right.
So if it was the
Gavel.
city's legal
Right.
counsel that
Oh, crap.
drafted it, like, I would assume they've looked
Right,
at
right.
what the legal backing is to, that there's a reason why it's 40 feet and where it is.
Well, that's what I'm assuming. It has to be a reasonable. You can prohibit it at a reasonable distance because that's the distance you can say is what's needed to prevent it from obstructing people's access to the library.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why we're designating the sidewalks. Like, that's blocking people.
I don't know
don't
why
think
we need that sentence. Why can't we just say a person must stay at least 40 feet from library entrances?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why we have that sentence.
Well, yeah,
In
well,
number
where-
2, okay.
Where else would they be?
Is it safety
Well,
related?
Somewhere that's
Is it
not
near
40
the
feet
park?
away.
Like
But
I
why,
said,
why
in
would
my
we
pen.
specifically stay? I don't know if I want to be specific and say this is where you go. I'd rather have it be silent and just say you can't do it within 40 feet. Be out there with their tape measure every morning, measuring it right.
We'd
So
chalk it
that's-
out, I'm
that's-
sure.
That's better than, yeah,
Then specifically designating it.
I like the flagpole space. It's across from the, I'm sorry, Doris.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, maybe that's getting at, they can't set up a tent in the parking lot
well, I feel like that.
and take
like,
up our parking
why-
spots.
Well, they can't.
I would
yeah.
want
They
to find
have to
out
stay
why
on the
we have to give them
sidewalk.
a
They can do
designated
that.
area.
Because wouldn't, if they sent up a tent in the
In the parking
lot,
space.
that would be infringing on like library
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
activities because it would be taking up a space
Well, I know,
For
but maybe
parking,
that's
right?
why that
Why
is
can't we, if we have
actually
to give them
stating
a
it.
spot, can't we do it over by the flags?
Well, I
that's
think
the
we're
big-
giving a
that's the
spot-
Veterans Memorial as
We're
well.
giving him a
Like, you know,
spot
Yeah, that's true.
on a sidewalk 40 feet away from, or 50 feet, we're hoping, away from our entrance. So they're not gonna be, I mean,
Why do we
people
have
may
to
be
designate
offended with religious groups under the flagpole, if it's
Like-
religious
Yeah.
groups that maybe shouldn't be under
But
the
under the
American
way this
flag.
is written, they
I
could
don't
go under
know.
the flagpole and they could go to the
Right, they could
Veterans
go
Memorial, the way
wherever.
we have it written.
I know, yeah,
But
that's
that,
true.
but that's,
That's not a sidewalk though, is it?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
the- what
There's a
is-
sidewalk
there's
to
a
it,
sidewalk.
okay,
But that's, at least we wouldn't be designating,
a spot.
right, then that's like, somebody could then go up to them and yell at them for being bad, but we don't want, to their beliefs. We don't want the trouble of designating an area and then people to be upset with us for designating that area, for them to,
Yeah, do we have to designate someplace?
Well,
Can we just say you can't be within 50 feet of an entrance? Does that clear the ramp sidewalks? Like
it does, but then does that give them the opportunity to block parking spots? I think that, in my mind, is why it was written that way,
What was
without knowing. But, so,
to be honest, what if they block 2 parking spots compared to our entrance? Or compared to underneath our
Yeah, what's our
flag
liability
or
then
our
if they're in our
sidewalk?
parking spot and
right,
somebody can
people
clip somebody?
driving, yeah. So do we,
Why,
What was the question we asked the attorney?
I'm not even sure, because this was put
This-
into the packet.
Yeah, this was Jennifer who had the discussion with the city attorney, so I don't know the specific question.
Because I already brought up the point about a congressman. We wouldn't allow them to put anything up anywhere.
Right.
But why the church then is allowed to do it? Why that exception? I mean, so maybe the wrong question was asked to the attorney.
Right.
As far as the policy, because if we won't let a person running for political office do this, why a church? And I don't care if it's public, they're not, as a church, paying taxes. Why do they have access to anything here other than as individuals?
there is a law, because when they started showing up years ago, I had brought it up and complained. There were a lot of people that brought it up and complained, and Jennifer had said, like, we can't make them leave. There is some kind of law that was saying that they couldn't do it. But they had been actively asking people and talking about it, and they did have to stop doing that. So Jennifer had to tell them, like, you can't actively talk.
Solicit.
Solicit. So that is why, like, they're now there, but
not
they can't
solicit.
really solicit people or talk. So they're just there, and they're very mostly quiet, or just they say hello. Sometimes they open doors, and, like,
So then I guess that does beg the question with a political person outside.
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know
they
that.
maybe
I don't
could
know.
then.
Because inside, it's a no.
Right.
But maybe they could outside. If they don't actively solicit them.
Well, there'll be a difference between, there might be a difference again, there might be a difference between campaigning
Meaning,
and being.
Right,
I mean, you could have your representatives, your government officials can.
I think they
Be
can. I
probably
think they
here
can,
all the
as
time.
long as they're so many days away from
Right.
the election and
Election.
so many feet away from an election polling.
Sign on any public property. You have to go to an individual, they have to
A
do-
political sign.
Yeah, a political
Right,
sign,
right.
so.
But they wouldn't be.
that I
They
know.
wouldn't be putting up a sign
But
if they're
No, they
physically
have
there.
signage. Those people out
So do you
front,
think maybe
they
we
have a
should-
big banner. So
No,
my
but
question
that's
is,
not them. They're
if
not
we,
posting it. They're standing there with it though.
right, so if we table this discussion, what questions are we going to ask our new friend Cooper at the
What-
Can't we
attorney's
invite
office?
Cooper to the next, well, I guess because it's legal advice.
Right.
I
So
just want the legal advice out. There's gonna be legal advice
So-
outlining that.
Uh,
Like that would
I need some
follow it.
specific things to
So I
ask.
guess I
Time.
would ask.
How much
their-
time can they be there?
Okay.
2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours? Overnight camping?
it definitely says in here they can only be there during
During business
operating
hours.
hours.
Okay,
But within those operating hours, the entire, okay, how much time? Any, what other questions are we
Can they
going?
block access by disabled individuals to the library? Because that's the ramp.
Right. Okay.
So can, and then the next question beyond that is, regardless of that, can we have it be more than 40 feet? Could it be, what's the absolute limit that we could have?
Okay.
Do we need to designate an actual space for them?
I think that's a big one.
And if we do, I mean, do we have to designate, or do we have to state that they can't take up parking?
Right, well, yeah, I
mean-
think the question is, can we, because if
We
we
have
had,
to designate.
yeah, if we had our, one, do we have to designate, right?
Right.
And if we do have to designate, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, could we say that they have to go next to the dumpster and do it,
Right.
right? Or do we have to allow them within so many feet of the building to do it?
Right.
Well,
Okay.
if we didn't have the memorial bricks, that would probably be the area.
Still,
No, if the bricks weren't, if the
There?
memorial bricks weren't there,
right.
they're not.
Yeah, but they'd
they-
still be blocking access.
No, they wouldn't be.
No, have you seen them when you come in?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really blocking. I don't have any trouble getting in around them. I mean, they're not really blocking. So I think it's just a matter of the,
Well, it's intimidating, I'm assuming,
it's-
for people to want to walk
right.
by them.
And
And then if they're opening the door for them,
right,
Like-
yeah.
that could be a little.
Well, I've never
Okay.
seen them, I've seen the memorial blocks. I thought.
Oh, the people.
I've never seen the people.
But if
No.
my
Really?
my
They were here
memorial
earlier
block was
today.
under them week after week. No. Okay. Other questions? So I have how much time?
Do we
they-
have to include that, the first sentence of regulation 2? We just say
People-
a
yeah.
person must stay at least 40 feet, or whatever it is.
persons wishing?
No,
must-
number
No,
two.
Oh,
number
number
2
library
regulations, do we need to say that first sentence?
Okay. And since Kristen is not here, I'm gonna just err on the side
You mean
of
Michelle?
caution and say I'm gonna move that we table.
Michelle.
Well, yes, but actually, I mean Kristen. Exactly. I do mean Kristen, but yes, now Michelle. So I am going to move that we table this discussion until we can have time to present these questions to the city attorney's office for clarification.
Well, one thing is that the Cooper, for example, may be working from, among other things, some summary of this kind of.
Right.
This, because this comes up all the time.
Right.
These issues, so besides specifics, they just say, hey, how about just send us, if there's some guidelines out there for organizations for ours,
Okay,
why don't you send us a copy of those and we'll have those for reference.
gotcha. I will.
Now, in taking a look at number 1, there's,
Number one of the regulations, see,
Yeah.
there's one on their policy and one, okay.
yeah. It says there that they have to obtain permission in advance from the library director. So if
But-
if Jennifer says no,
Right.
But I think that's only to distribute materials, canvas, petition, solicit, or speak.
yeah.
So if they're staying there, they're just standing there, they're not doing any of those
Any of
things.
those things.
Okay.
They're
That's
just
the
sitting
problem.
there. Huh?
That's creepy.
You've never,
I
you've
can't-
never
yeah.
I
seen
don't think I ever have.
Oh, you would know.
Annie
You
and I
would
are not
know.
early
They're-
risers.
they're
Yeah,
everywhere.
they're
You
like
would
there
know
with
it.
a big sign.
Yeah.
and
They're
there's
they're
two
all
of them
over the
and-
city. I mean, not just Franklin. I mean, all over the Milwaukee area. They're
Actually, one time I came up and there was somebody I used to work with.
Carrie, next time text me when they
Yeah.
get there.
Okay, so,
Um,
I got your comment on guidelines and, yeah, but
I was gonna say,
believe it or
oh,
not, they're not.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to
I
table
don't know,
this
do
by
we need
myself.
to move to
I
table?
don't know.
Just table, I think we
Okay,
just table.
then I,
There's no
then I,
motion.
then I
Rescind your motion.
rescind my motion and I'm tabling it. And moving on
Okay.
to our policy review of the computer and internet review policy, internet use policy on page 19 and 20.
No
And
changes, right?
There have been no changes. We, I think, Alan, were you on the board even at this time, in May of 2021? So we approved this in May of 2021. So does anybody have anything that they see that since then they want to change? Otherwise, I need a motion to, what do we do? Reaffirm. Reaffirm.
I'll make a motion.
Mike,
Second.
Alan, any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody abstained or Opposed?
So
Okay.
since this is relatively new, are we saying anything like within the last 2 years? Why was this brought?
Because we have been through every policy, because we are an on-the-ball board, and we are reviewing policies every month, and we've been through them all, so we're already back to 2021's. That's why.
Stuff on the
But then
agenda
how come
just
this
for the
one's
sake of doing it, though?
2014?
It's 2018. It was revised April of 2018. I'm with
This
you.
stuff goes fast.
It does. So moving on to the laptop policy, that one goes back a little farther. It was revised in 2018.
yeah.
And we have borrowers, like the third one down, the borrower's age has changed. And then on the second, on page 20, there's some,
You only have to get
Yeah.
So can I just ask about the
Yeah.
16 thing? Because it worries me a little bit.
okay.
Are they able to access things as a 16-year-old on this laptop that would be a problem?
I'm not sure what the
Not
access,
anything that they couldn't
Couldn't
ask
get it
on
on
a
a-
public
on a standalone
computer.
one.
Okay,
right.
okay, because I was a little worried about
Because
not
you
being
can
an
be
adult.
15 and use the adult computers and access the same things.
I'm just curious why you don't have to show an ID anymore.
We would like to get rid of that because if they have a library card in good standing, we have all of their current information. And we would have a phone number and an address, in order to send the police their way, because if they did take the laptop, it would be checked out on their card, and, we would call the police, which is actually in this policy.
Some 16-year-olds will not have photo ID.
I
And that's another
understand that,
thing
but
is
some
that-
16-year-olds will take some other 16-year-old's library card, and they can go get a free laptop.
Or 17 or 18 or 19 or 20.
Well, and
Or
don't you
the
only
third
have,
one.
Age
34-year-old.
specific.
don't you only have to renew your library card every,
2
2 years.
2 years? Okay, that's right.
I mean,
You can
you
also
know.
have a driver's license that's a couple months old and you moved already.
Yeah, that's true.
But the
I also
police have
know,
ways.
like,
Yeah, if
They,
you still have
they have the
name
things we
Well,
don't.
right.
That
Probably
video
10 to-
now, just
10 to 15 people in my life that are well over 16 that still do not have driver's licenses.
That's true.
So
Right.
it
But
would
like a
hinder them
school
from.
ID or.
But that's-
Well, no, that, but,
So
but we were
we also
requiring,
been
We're
dropping
gonna-
the age.
Yeah,
down
but we
because
say
we've had
other photo
requests.
ID. Why can't
Yes.
we-
Yes.
Okay,
Photo
well then
ID.
that's a
they
good
needed
reason
to
do it.
study and they're.
We're about
Right,
to
but
charge
yeah.
a system.
Chromebook.
It's fine.
But I think Annie's a good one. Annalee, they're going to have photo ID from the school. Most schools have photo IDs,
Unless
right?
they're homeschooled.
Right, they have them if they keep them. Most
And
people
Yeah, well, my
memorize
daughter
their-
can find her.
I mean, they don't have to wear them day to day, most people memorize their code, so the kids should, they have one.
But are they
don't
gonna
know
have
where
it on
is, you
them?
don't know.
Well,
But
yeah.
again, what is
Library.
the,
My
what
daughter
does a
can
school
find
ID
it,
tell you that
If
their
they don't,
library
they
card
don't get the
doesn't? It's all
It
the
wouldn't.
address and,
Well,
I mean, they have
does the
their.
school ID have the address
No,
and
no,
telephone
no,
number on it?
just
Right.
a
So
picture
then-
of that
library
student
card
ID
is
in the
better.
school.
And in good
Yeah.
standing, so.
And some library cards have pictures on them, although, you know, a lot of kids' library cards are when they were children.
Right.
Because we don't do pictures anymore. But I think it's just, it prohibits some patrons from utilizing the service that we have. And, you know, if they have a library card and they have a $71 fine on it, they're not gonna be able to check out a laptop.
Right.
So, you know, or if their library card is expired
They
and they
can't.
don't have a driver's license or ID, or if they are a minor and they don't have a parent with a driver's license or ID with them, they're not gonna be able to renew it and they're not gonna be able to check out the laptop.
If they have a $5.05 fine,
They're
they're not gonna be able to
check
check
out the
out.
and
laptop.
let's
They just need
be,
6 cents though.
I know.
let's be realistic, how much are laptops these days?
Well, the ones we
mean-
buy for the library, by the time they put on all the
All the
MICLIS
windows
stuff,
and stuff.
it's like $1,000.
Yeah.
So how many
But-
16-year-olds are coming up asking to borrow a laptop and we're turning them away right now?
I would say we just had one last week, and that's why I suggested it. To be completely honest, our laptops don't get checked out that much in general.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could check out a laptop.
When in school, they're 1-to-1, so like even if we added a
They're
school
bringing
ID,
their
it might not be it might not be school kids that are coming to get them. Right, it could be homeschool or something like that.
Mhm.
Or at
Right.
least during
Would
the
kids likely
school
bring
year.
their own,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll bring their
Right.
Chromebook here and just get on the Wi-Fi.
I would think
away
so,
they
If
go.
they
Yeah.
remember their
Used to it.
Chromebook, so that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
If they
you know,
remember to charge
right.
their Chromebook.
If it's
I mean, we
working,
have
I
a
mean,
charger.
Franklin's probably work better than MPS, but.
So the reality is, yeah.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
All right. So then do I have a motion to approve this with the changes made?
I motion.
Doris? And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstained? Motion carries. All right. Let's see. Library security project update. Do we have something on that, Carrie?
We do,
Other
it
than-
should be in
yeah.
the packet here. So, let me try and get to that
Okay,
here.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so there was an email from Tyler,
Yep.
and it tells us
25.
what they're up to. And then, page 25. And then also, information, he also gave us this lovely.
Well, that's
Signed up
not
with us to let the
security, though.
patrons know.
That's security or
Is
is that
that? No.
parking lot?
This
Or
is
that
parking lot.
security?
Both.
The library
Yeah.
will also remain open during construction, just in
Yeah,
case anybody
okay.
had any worries about that.
I mean, 4 new lights. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yep.
And,
And
it's
that's on this map.
all the conduit for security cameras.
Will go in,
Mm-hmm.
right. Super.
Where's the security cameras? I missed it.
There's a map. If you scroll down, there's an keep going.
Carrie, will the city be providing
No, it should be
signage
after
or
that.
something
Yeah,
for where patrons
you
are
go.
supposed to park?
My assumption would be
So
yes, but I
okay.
do not know that for
And
sure.
will they
All the blue
suspend,
dots
I
are
don't even
new
know what, I
lights.
mean,
Yeah, I see that.
like that sign right there, I
But all
can't
the
read it.
cameras are there.
Can
Oh,
people
this
park
is-
there and will they suspend some of those so that
Some of
people
the
can, or?
I see people parking there.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure what
I
that
don't know
sign
what that
says
says,
either,
yeah.
but I do see
Okay.
people
Look, yeah,
parking
we saw
there
the new-
sometimes.
And
Conduit
will
for
there
security
be,
cameras.
Okay,
I
oh, I
guess the
see
question
that,
I would
the-
have for the city then is accommodating handicapped patrons? And
Yes.
how, I mean, if our entire parking lot is gonna be closed and we have handicapped patrons coming, what will the accommodations be for them?
Okay.
So if you could maybe ask that question, or I can ask it, or ask Jennifer to ask it, but,
Well, isn't half of
It's
it
half and
open
half.
at all
Mhm.
at all
It
times?
is.
right, okay,
yes.
All
just
right.
to make sure that we still have,
Yeah, and the ramps go both ways.
right.
Mhm. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, looks good.
I just,
Question? Yep, comment?
so this is the parking lot update, but not the security
Yeah, that's
update.
what, right. So the security system.
Yes.
And that's Heartland, and that's what I was saying, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was kind of, we're kind of jumping
I was
to
just looking at
Jennifer's.
Jennifer's director's report.
Yes,
There's
right.
that
That's
update.
the
So-
that's the update,
Okay.
right there. Yep. Wrong update. wrong
Security,
update.
here we go. That's why we had to approve that motion to pay them as,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
over here, okay.
And basically, I know that they are starting work at the police department, which is
Okay.
what she says in here, and that they'll be moving on to city hall, and then we're last. But they have started.
Okay. They've started in the city.
Yes.
And as far as you know, the library will not be closed. Are
I
they
don't
planning
think
on
so.
doing
It's
it
not-
before or after hours, or just during hours and
Yep.
just not
But as-
invasive?
From what I understand,
Okay,
they will be doing it
okay,
open hours.
okay. And then, under old business, B, update on programming for older adults. Were there, I know that Jennifer spoke to, I don't remember her
health
name,
department?
Carol, is it
Carol.
Carol?
Yep.
And she is planning at least one,
Yeah,
has
there's
one
one
program
program.
scheduled,
Mhm.
and planning to continue to do more, so, cool, yeah. All right. Annalee, an update on the public schools?
All right, so we've moved to paperless.
Yep,
We'll do all of our updates on the newsletter.
nice.
We are excited to have the library coming in and do the presentations to the schools, which we kind
Thank
of
you.
hit on earlier in the meeting. So that's kind of our bigger piece that's a tie to the libraries right now. And obviously, it's some good PD sessions that I've reported on earlier in the year, bringing the library in to present to staff, and those have gone over really well. So we're going to continue a similar model next year.
Good.
Continue to find ways to partner and see kind of what the needs are on both ends that we can tie. So that's exciting. But otherwise, yeah, we're just kind of pushing forward to summer, trying to get the reading program out there and tie it in with all of our summer learning going on in the district too.
Great. Well, good luck. Have a good summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I gave my report. One thing I did not mention in my report that I'm not sure is in Jennifer's, yeah, I have to admit, I made it to like page 15 of the packet today. The Milkman game didn't make it to the report, did it?
Well, no, because the report was done before.
I
the
know,
summer.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I gave my report, and I will let Carrie give the director's report and maybe give us some news on that too.
We can talk about it, yes.
Yes.
Well, Jennifer told me not to read everything word for word here, so, I guess, so we already went over the parking lot. I would like to say, and I think that maybe, Jennifer might have brought this up at the last meeting, but our new custodian, Mike, in the morning is,
He was not hired by the time
He
of the last
wasn't?
meeting.
oh, he's
So-
fantastic, you guys. Like, he really had, when she says he's been busy replacing burned out light bulbs, she's not joking, man. He, like, has been every morning on a ladder. It's great. We can see again. But he's always busy. He's really fabulous. We're so happy we have him.
What's the
Um,
cleaning company been doing, by the way? Like, I know they've been working, but like, good.
They seem fine. They seem fine. I think things get vacuumed more now. I will say that. It does seem like things do get vacuumed a lot more than they used to.
I mean, I knew there was gonna be some catch up.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, yes. They vacuumed my office one time. Now, that never happened. So that is fabulous. I did like that. We did hire Madeline McKillop to be our summer youth library intern, which Sarah and Brittany are super excited about. And then they did interview another great candidate that, now that you guys approved it, I will be calling tomorrow.
Well, that's exciting.
Because we need help. That's awesome. We also have 2 new library assistants to replace Janice and old Emma. We have Gail, who is actually working tonight. She's been doing a little training on Mondays and Tuesdays, I think, in the evening, but she won't be able to start until June, her full 20 hours, because she is a retiring teacher.
Oh.
And our second library assistant is new Emma. And she is also a teacher, and she is leaving the profession, and she wants to go to graduate school to pursue a degree in library and information science.
This is a good place to learn.
It
Right.
is. So we're super excited to
Yeah.
have them be fully staffed again on our library assistants. Let's see. Okay, tell us about what now?
The Milkman game.
Space.
Okay, so I will try not to talk too long about the Create Space.
But we
If
gave you all kinds of money.
you
What have
did,
you done with it?
you can come into my office and see that I have blocked myself in with all the things I've bought because I don't have time to catalog any of them. But I have, I bought more tools. I bought a ton of STEAM toys, some tech toys that I'm
Good.
super duper stoked about because we're going to be doing STEAM toy playtime during the summer.
Nice.
And that's for all ages. I know it sounds very childlike, but like it's for families to come in and check out the Create Space and play with those items. And the tech toys will be able to be checked out and taken home as well.
Ooh.
So they can play with them and check them out. So I'm very excited about that. But if anybody wants to go in my office, I think I've gotten everything in. It is a mess, so please be careful. Don't trip over the power washer that's on my floor, the chainsaw.
Annie, there's a chainsaw.
I got a chainsaw. It's a small chainsaw.
And you did get a power washer.
I did get a power washer, and I got a miter saw, which is so large that I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. So
like a trailer.
I have like a cart, but it might be too big, and I think I'm going to have to store it in the whatchamacallit, the thing.
The thing.
Outside?
The storage room.
No, the shipping
Oh, the shipping, that kind of.
Because it's so big.
People are gonna need to get it out of the library
Exactly.
too.
So
Yeah.
yeah. My husband was
Just
like,
pull
so
around
which
the
one do I
back."
get?
Yeah, right.
And he told me, and
Your
then I picked
loading
it up, and I was
zone.
like, "That's huge. Is it going to fit in my car?" It did.
Okay,
Um,
well, that was a question, like.
It does.
will
It
people
fits.
need
Well, it fits in a
special-
Chevy Equinox. I don't know if it'll fit in anything smaller than that, but
Right.
maybe if you squeezed in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a lot more tools. I got some other stuff. What other tools did I get? Chainsaw, power washer,
Miter saw.
miter saw. and Things. Just a few. They were
Yeah.
littler
Right.
things.
When I have posted it and told people about it, they are psyched. They're like, "This is awesome!
I
This
just
is
want
such
people
a good
like.
idea."
I know. I
Yeah,
gotta like.
good work.
we
And
have
how
to
are you
figure it out.
planning on marketing this?
So that's tough because I really wish we had a dedicated page for it on our website.
Right.
Because people ask all the time, well, I heard about this, but I can't find it on your website. Because we don't have anywhere to put like all of our Create Space stuff. Like
Can
I
you
had,
do a Create Space Facebook page?
we could. I don't know how well that would, because I post on Create Space on Facebook all the
time.
about it, and people are super excited and they like it, then they don't come in and check anything out.
So I think
But
part of
just
it,
as a resource for people to, because then we wouldn't have to mess around with the website, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look into it because I'm not sure how Facebook all works with, The business
with
Facebook
Meta.
now.
yeah.
and I don't really want to attach it to my personal Facebook.
No, but give it its own Facebook page.
Is
You
it
can
hard to?
attach it to the. I'm doing this now for my second job. You can attach. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
So is it, I know there's been issues with our website and talking about maybe
Making changes.
making changes to that, and maybe that would
Right,
obviously
but
be
that's
a.
not how. That's
I know,
not in
I
our
know.
thing.
I know,
A
yeah,
little bit more.
yeah.
Is
So-
it hard to make, can you make a discrete page as part of the website?
No.
Okay.
No,
No.
that's a
But
problem.
that's why I'm saying if you did like a separate, like Franklin Public Library Create Space, its own.
You can. We should be able
Facebook.
to attach a second Facebook page to our Facebook page.
Okay.
Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay.
It would, and then even when you made one post, it should automatically share to that post and
Okay.
vice versa. So there's a way of doing it.
Okay.
And you could just do a whole listing on the About page, and then you could
Mhm.
refer to that in like the newsletters or.
Yeah. And okay. Yeah.
We'll
So I have a,
Okay.
a quick question about these STEAM toys that
Yes.
people are allowed to come in and check out. Is there enough duplication that people that just want to come in and use and explore at the library, or is everything always going to be checked out and there's not going to be enough at the library for people to experience?
Well, that I don't know
Okay,
because I've never had them
right.
checked out.
Okay,
I don't have duplicate things right
right.
now
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
that would
Yeah, that
cost
would have
quite
cost.
a bit.
Right, exactly.
Right now,
And
they
I'm
don't-
assuming you keep track of, or you will like kind of watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
and-
How long do you get to check them out?
They're I believe they're a 7-day checkout.
Okay. So if you do a STEAM story, or not story time, a play time, and
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff is
They-
checked out, it might
Yeah.
be a bummer. But,
It might
or
be
you
a bummer,
advertise
but it's
it like
just
a month
it would just be
advance.
the tech toys that get checked
Okay,
out, not the
all right.
Steam toys.
Okay,
So
all right.
like the Connects and the Lincoln
Okay.
Logs and all that stuff will not. That
Okay,
has to stay in
that
the Create
stays in.
Space. It would
Okay.
be like the Codapillar or
Okay.
the Osmo or
Okay.
and we do have duplicates of those.
Some of those, okay, all right,
Yeah, so
All right.
those would be the things that they could check out.
okay.
And then the Milkman game.
Yes.
Yes, it was very. I feel like it was very successful.
Yes.
Our 2020 raffle, our 50/50 raffle, we made $1,102.
That's like twice as much as last year.
It was.
Awesome.
Plus, when Doris came in today, the person who won donated. Was it 102?
102.
102. So
Nice.
they donated that back to us. I believe it was 208 we made on the ball toss.
Yeah,
Okay.
Or the
it's
balls.
Yes,
We
yes.
sold
the
out of balls.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it was that.
Yeah, I
yeah, it
think
was
so.
something like that sounds right.
And then did you say we sold? Steve said
Like
we
about
sold like 50
$50.
tickets.
That's what he said.
He said we
yeah.
would we made about $50.
Oh,
On
from
the
the
ticket
tickets?
sales.
Okay.
Oh, he had
Oh.
told me he thought he sold tickets.
Oh,
about
okay.
50 tickets.
Okay, then I misunderstood that.
believe.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Which I'm not quite positive on how
I
much
don't know
we
how
get
that-
from each
yeah.
of those
Yeah, I don't know how
tickets.
that works.
And we had a great number of volunteers.
We
I
had a
mean,
lot,
that was
yeah. Mm-hmm.
nice. And in fact, there was one point where somebody showed up and it was like, well, there's nothing for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we really had good showings from
Yes.
both the foundation and the board.
Mhm.
So that was, and the librarians.
Yeah.
So Sunday's definitely better than Wednesday.
If we
Just
can
because of Wednesday.
keep
Those are
the,
stickers.
yes.
Anybody need stickers? Library stickers?
We have tattoos too, but they're baseball themed. But
Oh.
yes, if you want a tattoo,
All right.
get you one of those too.
Anything that at a glance that needs to be highlighted, or everybody can look at that, right? All righty. Anything else, Kim?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Annie, what's up with the foundation?
We just had a meeting last week.
Mm-hmm.
The literary luncheon, Larry Watson is gonna be
Mhm.
the guest. October 10th? I
Yep.
think so, 10th, at the
10th,
Polish
so.
Center.
Mhm.
And they're cutting us a break on the hall rental, which is
Nice.
nice. So we're looking for corporate sponsors, personal sponsors, and I don't have that.
You had that one last year where
Yeah,
you
I
could be
should've
an
brought that
editor or
flyer.
this or that. Okay,
Uh,
so you're doing the similar.
I'll send you guys a copy of that email if you know anybody who's interested in being a sponsor.
Yeah.
Last year we were able to defray pretty much all of our
It was quite
costs.
a bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we basically made pure profit on it,
Okay.
which was nice.
And what are the tickets going for?
I think
Like
65, and then like $100 for a VIP, and that gets you a meet and greet, with the author. What else happened at the foundation? We're
Putting in our
sponsoring.
trivia stuff?
No trivia. It's funny. I was thinking about that. We haven't had a trivia.
Because there was like a string.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it was like, oh, it's Disney, or it's.
Packers. The
Yeah.
I think the last few ones didn't go so well.
Yeah. So we
Do a
haven't
Nerf
done
war for it.
and we're sponsoring the Hungry Town concert
Oh, yeah.
and new backpacks.
The backpack buddies.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
backpack buddies. And I think that's pretty much it.
Great.
Just a lot of talk about moving money around.
Okay.
Dennis likes to talk about moving money around.
Super. All righty. And moving on to Colin, Terry.
I have a refresher for you. Colin
Yeah.
is Council on Library and Network Development. Goes back to the 1970s when computerization in the libraries was something relatively new. So it's going to have their 45th anniversary will be next year. And speaking of anniversaries, I was coming up on the end of my third 3-year term there. And right now, it's in process of I'm in the process of seeing if I'm going to be re-upped or not. I don't know if they have people breaking down the doors, how it is with volunteering. So I'm willing to do it, and we'll see what happens. I should hear relatively soon on that.
Okay. Okay.
And this is all, you kind of forget this stuff. Now, how did I get on this?
Right, right.
And there's someone who's in the governor's office who handles all appointments go through, I think, like one person.
Oh, okay.
Not things like go and you have to be approved by the legislature, but
Right,
there's
right.
something in 4 figures of people who are in these volunteer positions. And I'll editorialize this. That's one of those things I think it's very much a part of the, if you read Alexis de Tocqueville, that was one of the things that he commented on a great deal in Democracy in America, is this volunteer spirit of Americans.
Huh.
And that's been true all the way along, but there's some cultural changes now, and a lot, and people's lives are structured differently. So it's, as we know, it's not so easy to get people to volunteer, and
Right.
I don't know if there's anything, I don't mean there's anything bad about them, but that it's, I'm assuming, just more difficult to volunteer these days with everything else that people are doing. So we'll see what happens. So that I'll know
By
probably
next meeting.
By next meeting, and probably within a few weeks of getting my
Term.
notice to the governor's office, the formal notice to them that I'd be interested. And we'll see, maybe somebody else will go in there, which is not all bad.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Because you hate to feel like I might step aside, but there's nobody, you know, there might not be anybody to fill the position. So, so I'll let you all know.
And
next-
when does
next
that term end?
That ends,
Also in
I think that's just like ours, isn't it? Mid-year?
July, end
Yeah,
of June?
yeah, same
July
thing.
1st.
And it happens that I'm on the same 3-year thing in both
Okay.
organizations, so
Huh.
it's just a coincidence.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll find out next month, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you didn't have a meeting
No, that's every other month.
every other, okay, all right.
And that's, since it's statewide.
Gotcha, yep. All right, so our next meeting is June 26th at 6 PM. Alan will not be here, correct?
That's the way I
You
understand
told me 2 months, I should have asked Lori yesterday.
Then you'd know for sure. Cause I'm gonna go home and check with her.
Right, right. You told me last month you were gonna be there in June, I
Well,
thought, wow,
that's
you're
because she
ahead.
told me.
Right, right. Does anyone else know if they're
I
not?
won't be here.
Okay.
I emailed Jennifer too.
Okay. Anyone else?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Excellent. Annie?
Second.
And Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstain? All right, motion carries. Have a great evening, everybody.
So